Hi class, this is your video feedback and I wanted to just do a real quick spin over the rubric. You want to make sure that you have asset guides to go with your work. Say you have a video, you want to make sure that you let the viewer know what your role was, if you were the director, the cinematographer, both, these kinds of things. Of course, a bio and an image, which you've been working on your bio. Your contact page always at the end as a web standard. And a real biggie, of course, we did some proofing this week of one another's work, but remove the template also. That's really important. More important than having very few examples is that we remove that template, right? The sitemap and wireframe, that's just to help you remember, what exactly that was for. If you were building for someone else, you would be, first thinking about how many pages, what they would be like, and then how each one would be diagrammed, all right? All right. So with that also, proposal, I saw one or two that still had the instructions, the questions and instructions. So those should always be removed when you are submitting anything or writing a proposal or an analysis or anything for anybody. You want to generally remove the questions and just state in full sentences your responses. All right. Let's begin. Rihanna, here we are. I can see right away we get into your work. You've updated your copyright information here. And you've got linked up. And let's see, I am going through these, you guys, as a first-time user. It's not that I haven't seen them, because in many cases, most cases, I have. But I'm trying to look at it as if I am just landing on your page and trying to make sense of it, because that's really what we want. We don't want our user to have to think about much. Okay, so it's a little different to have these being upper, lower, and these all caps. I would rethink that, I believe. And it's all really clear. You have a great image here. You tell us what you do. I think I would reword young to begin to understand what power I had. I think I would say, first held the camera, I was too young to even begin to understand the power it held, or it had, or something like that. Just happened to catch that. So let's see. But everything's great. This has higher contrast, so that actually works a little better than here, but it's probably just the overlay. Everything is laid out well. And this is nice. I think I would go for straight edges here. And you're consistent with your font. I would think about the colors that you're using here. They're very rich. And so don't feel like you have to have a white background. You could have a chocolate brown background. You could have a color that you choose from in here. You could take this particular image and put it in a color generator and see what kind of palette it gives you that you may like. I would go in and Photoshop these out, the window and the lights. I would do that. If you want to make it a highlight, that's one thing, because that does give it a little more dimension, but I would definitely get that out of there. Okay. All right. Good job. This week, ordinarily, you'd be working on your mobile, but I took that out for the holiday break, so you guys won't have a project this weekend, but do make sure you're making all your corrections, because you might not get another chance. Okay. And I think you want to come up with a logo for yourself, even if it's just your name, really. That might not be the best thing. We see it a lot. And so you might want to just take that out and use your name in a font that you like and make those consistent. All right, great job. Christina, this loads a little slowly. I'm not sure why, but this could be sharper, but it's fine. And we do have a large gap here and some scrolling. So how about we bring this over just a little more, this column, and it will shorten it a little. but it will not have this big gap. Okay, let's, well, okay. All right, I still like this. This works well, and we know exactly what you do. That's perfect. Okay. Depending on how many rows we have, if we only have a few, we can center align it, but otherwise we left align it. Let's try not to have one word on a line by itself. Remember? Okay. All right. Little cramped here. You know, maybe this needs to line up. If you're going to put those there, you might consider a different color. The white ones or the black ones might be good. Okay. So, a little confused about this now. All right. Because we're into a totally different page here. So let's just get into your work right away instead of this. So I'm not sure what that is. It's suddenly we've got a different thing going on. Left align these, I think. Okay. Okay. Maybe this needs to, maybe need to start using this font for some of your headers so that it's a little more important. So maybe not big, but consistently the same size, have service in your font here. And again, I would rather see portfolio. I'm just confused by that. Okay. So the testimonials, maybe you don't need a page to that. Maybe it's okay to have them there, but maybe you don't need a page to it. And if you do repeat that, it doesn't have to be as big, but it should be consistent. Or maybe you use this lettering on every page, you know, up here, portfolio, and then you get into your work right away. I'm just not sure about this, right? So check that out. And let's disable this, okay, because we aren't using it, so we don't need it. Okay, so now I'm going to try and pick up the pace, everybody, because there will be things that will repeat, and hopefully if you've done those things, you will apply that to your site as well when I mention it, okay, any changes. Okay, let's update this, and I'm not sure if this is something of yours or, you know, I don't know. I feel like this is the template. But probably not. Okay. So we need to take a look at that. And okay. All right. So, all right. You're saying telling stories the best possible way, but let's see if we can tell them exactly what you do instead. This is a nice bit to put in your about, but let's tell them exactly what you do. And if you're a food videographer, that's awesome. That's a market that is very specific, and that would be great. Food, comedy, anything that you think would be a cool idea. Okay, so Yeah, and you don't have to say soon to be, because probably by the time you launch this site, you will be. Okay, so everyone can go ahead and say they're Full Sail grad. If you have made it this far, chances are good you will. If not, you can go back and edit that. Okay, so really what I'm getting more of is it feels more like a restaurant, and this is definitely template, so remove that. And it is feeling like a restaurant and less like your video page. So let's fix this image. Think about a color back here, rather, because I'm not sure this is working as a brand for you. All right. One of these colors. And yeah, I just don't think these are yours. I feel like they're template. If I'm wrong, let me know. Put an asset guide with these images and things, these videos, so that we know. All right. Okay, so this needs to be on the desktop if that's going to be your logo. And you can do this and just not put that there. And like I say, if these are your images, just let me know. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard for me to know between the template pros and the student work. So maybe these are yours, and if so, I want to know. All right, good job. And these are currently going to Wix, so you'll want to eliminate those that you don't use and put yours here. Okay, try just to have one instead of doubling it. Let's always align. Start with a grid-based format. That's for everybody. I kind of like this. This is out of focus, but I like the colors that are going with it. And I do think that needs to go somewhere. Okay, good. We've got to figure that out, right? Okay. Yeah, remove that block. Okay, let's reduce this font a little bit, close it up a little, and so that this doesn't break here. So it's all one line, and then this, and let's, I think a little simpler, more delicate font, maybe not, if it's bold, try not to bold it, and group those together so that we don't look like we have all one, you know, column here, that these are grouped together, and these are closed up and grouped together, but you've done a good job of keeping it all the same. I do like that image. Those colors are great. Nice angles, and I do like what you've done here. The work is good. You have it here on a grid base, so really super close. You've put these closer together, mainly because there's one line each, but you know, reduce it just a little bit, and I think you'll have it. I'm not sure this is the most visual image you can put right there at the top. Okay. Even this might be more eye-catching, or yeah, I think this or this might be more eye-catching. And bring it up a little bit, so this doesn't have to be as deep. You probably won't have as many of these. We don't have to say work in progress, so we can pick up a line there, close that up, and put something compelling here. We want most of our work to be above the scroll. Okay. Okay, probably you can get this on one page. All right? All right, great start. And I am looking at your mobiles. You haven't been assigned it yet, but I am looking at them since I won't have you be submitting them this week. Okay, double check, make sure you guys don't have blanks. You know, it's not hard to fix your mobile. You're not required to do it yet. All right. I feel like this bar we probably don't need. And this is nice that you have it aligned, and I feel like they're family photos, and that's great. I believe the background is competing with this image, and that maybe a nice background would be something simple and earthy, a color like a taupe, or one of these colors back here, either solid or something like that, something simpler, because that background is bright and it's trying to compete with this, and it's hurting these great shots. Okay, by itself it's a great shot. Update this. Okay, go ahead and link these to your Facebook or Twitter. LinkedIn is an important one to have if you don't have any of the others. And when you do have a Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, be sure that you're carrying your brand over, like your logo. There's also a lot of space here. I probably would bring that in rather than having all this empty space, since it's not being used. And I would left align this. Little tough to read. This script is hard to read. Think about that. Good. I like your icons. This, notice how thick this is? That's what you would do on all of them. They would be consistent. That's what would make them a set. Try and get these things on one line, or make these two, but I think if you can make this one line, you're going to be better off here, so they line up. And it's always good to have the same number of lines everywhere. Okay. All right. Do we need, see, this looks better. This is better, much better than your home page. These really help sell your work. Okay. All right. Portfolio 2. So this is, it looks good. I'm not sure it warrants a whole page because it's covering up content. Drop-down menus are very tricky. But your photography is great. You've got catch light in the eyes. Everything is great. So really, taking out that front page is going to help you. I prefer just this. Just this. All right? Whatever you have to do, whether it's put it in a color, but not with that oval, which I feel was kind of an afterthought. Okay. This might have to be a little bigger. We do have a lot of stacking going on here. But, it's great work. You just have a few tweaks. This looks a little busy. I don't think you need these boxes, this sort of thing. I feel like you could just have a simple contact form here without all of that. If you have to make it bigger, fine. Bring that up on one line. Make sure you do want people calling you, because you'll get a lot of spam, so be careful about using your number, and about adding any addresses that they're not your personal address or anything. And make sure this goes to your Instagram. All right, and you only need it once on a page. Okay, and try putting it in the same place every time. All right. Okay, it's so close, really close. Okay, into square. I see what you did with that video. This needs to be higher contrast. Let's start with that, and let's move it so we don't have the navigation being the main event on our page. And then we're scrolling down. And if you're saying you're a web designer, then let's say it. Instead of having them read, slide down and read it, let's say it. I don't think that's working for you. This is working for you, but I don't think that is. So I would move this over to the left. I would bring this up. I'm not a fan of these buttons in this fashion. Sometimes they work if everything's black, and this is a black and gray gradient, but it doesn't always work. So let's bring that up. And you see how you have this in one order and this in another order? These need to be in the same order. As we're scrolling, this needs to be in the order that we go down a page. So if services takes us here, then it shouldn't skip it and go back to it when we select services. Because see, what will happen is, now if I choose service, it's going to go like that, but, and then it goes backwards. So have it be sequential, and so this would be good. Watch that B that cap would be larger. Okay, good. Let's bring in a little more padding. All right, so let's not overlap this here. I am not sure that you need this here because it's not telling me anything. The M is for you. I'm not understanding. But that's okay. Maybe you have an explanation. Let's not use this moving background. Okay, so a lot of the template is still here. When you do get into work, let's bring it up quicker. What we really want to do, and I'll tell you, parallax scrolling doesn't always work. In this case, it's the video, but sometimes it doesn't work with a photo either, but it's really not easy to work with. Very few images are suitable for it, and I think if you think about this, it's distracting. Okay, and then this, I'm not sure I understand. So we want to simplify things. This template is a little modern, and yeah, let's simplify that. Just removing that is going to really take you someplace fast. Okay, now I'm starting to be able to focus a little better. Let's bring this over, left align. You do have this that's making it vibrate, and I don't know if, you know, I know it's not my eyes, but it feels like it. So let's not do that. Maybe one of those, you know, maybe the blue, but not both. You know, I feel like there's a lot of template here. And the drop down, either there's something there that's not, let's update that, something that is a large file and not loading, or, yeah, so there's, yeah, so simplify. So I'm a little dizzy. I think if you take that video out, you're going to be close to being there. Blog, go ahead and disable that. All right. Okay. And update. Okay. And then eventually you will link to your work. But for the moment, let's remove that video and move that and move this over. And you're going to be well on your way. And say what it is you do. Okay? Because the concept's good, and you're going to be surprised. I can't wait to see where it's going to go, because I already can tell there's a few edits it's going to be there. Okay, we want to bring this up a little bit, right, because it's kind of being cut off here. I don't like this again, and this oval. We don't need it. Just go ahead and use your name. Fewer pieces. If it's not necessary, we try to eliminate it. This is good. I love it. In fact, I would put it first, especially if you want this background, which competes, in my opinion. I think this looks good, and a simple background Again, you could take one of those shots, screenshot into a color generator and see what kind of color palette it gives you, but a simple background. This is beautiful. This may be the template, or is this yours? Let's see. This is where you might also add the content as to what you did with a project. All right, okay, so okay. Okay. So I would, you're close. You're close. You do want to include your asset guide that tells everybody exactly what you did. We're getting into a different look here. I would simplify this text. Probably I would move this up here and just take this oval off and move your navigation over here. All right, that can be your logo. Okay, let's keep our shapes the same, whatever you choose to do. If you just want two there, that's fine. And update this date. I like the colors here. Maybe you don't need these here. Maybe what you do is, well, just simplify it. If you want your photo there, you could put your photo there, but try and put it in one of these shapes. Be consistent. And notice your icons and the way they're drawn, and if they're similar enough. Yeah, you're going to like this removed. You're going to like that coming off. And this moved. Because right now it's cutting off your images, and we can't have that. All right. These are looking good, but I can tell you that these images are better than this one at the top. This may be your favorite movie, music video, but and let's use one line here and therefore one here, and let's center everything, your headers and everything. But some of these are beautiful. That's just gorgeous. This is nice too. That's gorgeous. I don't know if that's yours or not. Please tell me it is. All right. Okay. Yeah, just simplify that. Make it a block. And these only go in one place. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be really different when you move this navigation. Choose a different navigation and move that circle. All right. Good job. All right. This is working. Hard to read whatever it is around this. So keep that in mind. Great shot. Works with your background. Let's left align this because of the number of lines. Does this link to something? Yes, it does. Let's left align, and this red is suddenly, left align all that. The red, I know you have it here, but I feel like the orange, deep orange, works better than the red. Okay. All right. I would consider making this all caps and the thing italicized, but just, you know, for the way it looks here. But sure. Yeah, I would use the dark orange instead. I know this is in your logo, but if it's too late to change that. Let's get rid of this block of space. Okay, good, good. There may be more stacking here than needs to be, but it's not bad. Do put the contact at the end where people are accustomed to seeing it. Now, gallery and show reel. Make sure your gallery is grid-based, remember, and only put things that are original. Like this and this are very similar. So I would choose one. And definitely grid-based them, even if you only have 2 rows, which you have. But make them the same depth. All right, you have them aligned at the top, but this one isn't. It could be. This one might have to reduce in size, bring that up, that kind of thing. This one is the only horizontal, so work that out. This is not yours. These aren't yours. Take this page out, disable it. Disable this. Disable this. And this. All right, so take those pages out. All right, good job. All right, Kyle. Let's decide between pink and red. All right, you have both here, but I think with the white, it makes it a little tough. This is hard to read because you can see the strokes are very thin when we reduce it, so be careful about that. You've got 3 different fonts here, 4, so we want to reduce it down to 2 fonts and another. You've got a lot of fonts that you can tell that's what's making it kind of piecemeal, and when you take that out, it won't feel that way as much. Put this in something easier to read, either like this or this, but something easier to read, okay? All right. It's not that I don't like pink and red together, but it's got to be done just right. I don't know if you need that. You have nothing here, and if so, I'd put it in the middle, but you already have this, so maybe you don't need this block if you can get rid of it and just have these. You don't need that word. Let's fix or freeze your header here, your navigation, so that it doesn't run over type. Okay, this will go behind it when you freeze it. I do see exactly what it is you do, and that's awesome. I feel like this needs to fill up the space a little more. Maybe this pushes over and this is one line. But again, we've got a lot of different fonts going on, and it's really not that style. Also, a square would fit you better here, just because you've got so much block going on. You want to be consistent with that. All right. Okay. And of course, this is the important part. All right. Simplify. Yeah, so yours is just mostly simplifying and aligning things like that. All right, but I don't see templates, so kudos there. All right, good job. All right, there's nice work here. I do want to see it somewhat aligned. This would be pretty underneath this only because of the style, but you have it rowed up, and you would need a couple more to do that. So maybe in the future. The yellow, I'm not feeling. I feel like your brand is somewhere in here. And so maybe this is a pink. Good. Yeah. Even this color, well, yeah, play with that. I would choose something other than these. In Wix, you can go in and change your icons. And we do have to be careful, but they do have white and sometimes gray and black and things like that. But it's looking good. I want, you know, I still like navigation at the top, but it's not bad because there's not scrolling, so we're good. Eventually, I imagine you'll have something of a design for you. And it doesn't have to be like everything else is today. It can be very, very you. You can wait on it and feel that out. All right, but you've got what you need here. So good job. Nina, these all hook up, and that's great. There's a bit of a jump here. I kind of want these to align with this, right? And this drop down does cover up a lot, so make sure that's what you want, as do your services. Make sure that on your services that you have a additional menu. You know, do you need an additional menu? But actually it's the portfolio. Okay. Maybe it's your mobile, but when you are here, make sure you change the spelling of business cards, was what I wanted to say. Okay. And that's a great shot. And these are laid out well. And they seem to belong. As long as they're all yours. So do we really need to have two? Yes, this could be all one page. And you do add a lot, so maybe it's not too much to write about everything. It's okay. It seems to be you. I would consider having one line here. Okay. And don't feel like you have to include everything. 3 of your best examples is going to be better than, everything you've done. Always make sure it is the highest resolution possible, but that it's optimized. Okay. So yeah, and it could just be Wix somewhat, but do make sure that your work is sharp. Okay. I was thinking about for your web design, you can in Wix embed websites. So if that's something that you're interested in, you could always embed a sample if there's one you like. Just, do your best to, this is a great color scheme in my opinion, do your best to just showcase those things that work with your brand, like this, right? This works really well with the colors that you've chosen. You don't have to use everything. Just choose things that, really work. The resolution, I'm not so sure. Maybe it needs to be smaller, and this can get fuzzy, but, and I like how this is not covering things up here. But you don't have to use everything. Like this, it doesn't really say your brand. This sort of does, you know, some things work better with it than other things. That certainly does if you did that. I know this was an assignment. So just choose those things that are original, if you have them, and that carry off your brand. So I would eliminate some things. That doesn't really say your brand to me. I know the color's there, but it doesn't say it the way some of your work does. Let's edit down. And I'm not sure that this is editable. This may just be a PDF picture of words, in which case it all has to be entered, remember. And let's see. You can have your link here, and you can put these on your LinkedIn. All right. So just a little bit of cleanup. It's exciting, and it can be even better with just a little more editing. All right. Good job, Nina. All right. This is the template. And I think we get into some original. Let's focus more on your original work. Like this. I'm not sure those are yours, right? Only have what you have taken. Bring that up a little bit. Otherwise, good. Okay. I would love to line this. Make sure you want people calling you before you put your number out there for everybody and anybody. We don't need to say, well, you can say problem. I mean, that's nitpicking. And these work. I do want to see a little more, see rough edit, a little bit more about the role you played. A little more for your asset guide, not much, but a little more. All right, so just take out anything that isn't yours and get straight into yours. Okay. Careful about addresses. Don't want anybody showing up at your house. All right, great job. And I can't wait to see where it's going after that. Let's check the mobile. Okay. Correct me if those are yours. I just feel like I've seen them. I know I've seen this. All right. Okay, good job. All right, so this image needs to be optimized, right? It took a second to pop up, and this was already in my browser. Nice, the coloring's beautiful, a little more space here, right? Some padding over that. I love that. We want to bring that down just a little to bring this up. And you want to watch the shape that this is making if you're going to do this, because you have more lines than we normally center. Nice. I probably would try and make this the same size, just a little bigger. But it's okay. It's good. A little padding here. Yes, I do want to work with you. Update this date. Take this off. Make sure these do go to yours. Have a LinkedIn. You may not need that. You know, ask yourself if you need something. Okay. This image might be centered a little better, but it's lovely. Okay, we have no navigation. We're going to need a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to need, okay, here we have home, but we're going to need the rest of your navigation to take us to your about and to your portfolio and contact. But it's just the right amount of info. Let's reduce this. Okay, all right, great start. I can't see your mobile, so it may not be the same link. All right, I do like this. I think your logo may have to be smaller. This is a nice image for your portfolio, but it's hard to read if there's anything there. And you know, you do have an affinity for water and the sea, and that's really great. Okay. You know, there's really no, I love this idea. There's no reason in the world for me to say make it a blue. No reason in the world. It's just part of me wants to try it, but it works as the seafoam up here. This is a jump for me from this. You know, maybe I want to see this is one of my favorite colors, to tell you the truth, is this deep, rich blue. It looks so great with brown. This is very low, a lot of headroom here, but a lot of headroom in it. Yeah, you may not need that. So I'm not sure if I have to click on these to get a testimonial. That's too much clicking. Okay, but you know, maybe this is where you want to use that blue. Maybe this is an additional font choice that we don't need, right? We want to keep our fonts. We also need the space that you have here might work here and here. At least make it the same amount. Okay, but it's, you know, beautiful work. You have all the important elements, and I love it. Let's rename these, okay, so that when we're scrolling over it, okay. The strokes get difficult to read. Okay. Love it. And to this. All right. Okay. I would rather. Okay. This doesn't bother me as much. I know it's an additional font, but maybe that has to be in black. But beautiful, you have every element that you need, and you've got good work, and so that's perfect, right? This is fun. Does it go with your theme? Maybe it could in some way. I mean, it could. You could even make this blue-ish. Anyway, just keep thinking about what you've started here and what you're telling us. is the important things. Okay. So as I said, ordinarily, except for the holidays, we would be working on your mobile site this weekend, but I'm not having you do it. Be mindful of your mobile version, going through and cleaning up anything that you need, all right? All right, everybody. All right, everybody. You're doing a great job, and I think that you can be proud of the work that you've created this week. All right, good work.